on a Bay Area media.
Oh, he's coming on now?
Legend.
This guy.
Yeah, Warrior Insider for NBC Sports Bay Area. Monte Poole back with us. How are you today, Monte?
I'm doing well, and when you say legend, it just makes me feel old, man.
Monte Poole. What's up, man? It's Draper. How are you?
What's up, Drake?
How you been, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You covering the Valkyries down there or what?
I have not covered a Valkyries game yet, but I have been enjoying watching them. Okay. It's pretty amazing stuff to see an expansion team doing what they're doing. They got a pretty good system over there.
Tell them we want our colors back next time you go out there.
We want our colors, Monte. Yeah. Monte,
I can't blame you for that. I can't blame you. I totally understand.
Yeah. Tell us about Kaminga and the Warriors. There's been some suggestions. I don't even know if they're reports that the Kings may be offering Malik, trying to get Kaminga. What can you tell us about Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors right now?
Well, Jonathan Kuminga has the bad luck of becoming a restricted free agent in a soft market. You know, it's not a lot of interest because there isn't a lot of money being thrown around. The one team that has cap space is the Brooklyn Nets, and they have shown no interest. So while the Warriors realize that they can't do anything of real substance without clarifying the Kaminga situation, and right now, it's just, they made the qualifying offer over the weekend, making him a restricted free agent. And Kaminga's people are trying to figure out what they can do, what he can attract beyond the Warriors. And the Warriors are really kind of in no position to do a whole lot because they can't get their roster together the way they want to until everything is settled with Kaminga. And my concern is that JK's people won't have much to come back to in terms of leverage. So when you hear about, the various sign and trade possibilities, including a guy like Malik Monk, the question becomes for me, I like Malik. I think he's a really good player, a dynamic guy, scoring guard. But that's not that's not a high priority for the Warriors. They have more priorities than that. Their priorities are, first of all, they got to get more size. They understand that now. And Malik Monk ain't gonna be blocking any shots in the paint.
Right.
So, and he won't be, climbing the glass against the guys like Joker and the two guys in OKC, both Chet and Isaiah. The guys in Houston now, Steven Adams and Sengun and Capella's back there. I mean, they realize they got to get more size. Malik can't help with that. And they also realize, Gary Payton, the second, his status is still up in the air. I was told over the weekend that it was doubtful that he'd return. But now that Kevon Looney is out of the mix going to New Orleans, I think his chances of returning are a little bit better. The Warriors like him. He likes them. But they're not going to pay him the $9.1 million he made last year. So in none of those three things that you're looking at, point of attack defense, which is what Gary at his best brings that. Rim protection, and also if you're looking for somebody, a wing defender, Malik is none of those things. He's a scoring guard, and he's one of those guys. On our podcast earlier today, I said, there are certain guys in this league who can win you some games strictly because they get hot. He's one of those guys. He can do that. He can do that. But there's also going to be some games when he has nothing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's going to win you some games, and he might even lose you a game or two, trying to win you a game or two. So you got to live with that. Jordan Clarkson, another one of those guys. When they got it going, look out. When they don't have it going, uh-oh. So yeah, I don't see the Warriors making that move for those reasons because Malik doesn't address their most important needs.
Hey, Monte Poole joining us, NBC Sports Bay Area Warriors insider. Do you envision a scenario in which the Warriors would welcome Jonathan Kuminga back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They may have no option. Understand, too, the Warriors, they had 3 lottery picks in back-to-back years. 3 picks. The first one, James Wiseman's already gone. The second one's Kaminga, still there, future in the balance. The third one is Moses Moody. Nice player, rotation player, but not a star. They don't want to even think of the possibility of having 3 lottery picks and none of them becoming a star for them. And now you're looking at Kaminga, who clearly his game doesn't fit the way the Warriors play, and the way they will play as long as they have Steph and Curry on the roster. So, but he is a change of pace. So is Jimmy Butler, a change of pace guy. Jimmy doesn't play the game that Steph plays, but he can adapt. JK is more of a lone wolf in terms of when JK has it going, he's a solo artist. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's part of the symphony. He does his thing, and it's great sometimes, and sometimes it's not so great. But it's a misfit in that regard. Jonathan wants to be a star in this league, and he has that potential. He still has some rough edges he has to smooth out. But as long as Steph Curry is the star on his team, he's a featured guy. And JK can only be featured if Steph's off the floor. And we know what happens to the Warriors when Steph's off the floor because we saw it in the postseason against Timberwolves.
Yeah.
When Steph left, they were done.
Yeah.
So they welcome him back. They may not have a choice. That may be it because they don't want to lose him for nothing. Mm-hmm. But even if they welcome him back, I seriously doubt that he will be there long term. Maybe they welcome him back until they can trade him down the road. Which, again, that's a distinct possibility should he come back. If he showed up for day one on training camp, I would be shocked if he's there for training camp in 2026.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Monte Poole with us, and you talked about Kuminga's game a little bit there. Aside from his fit with the Warriors, and I know it's kind of hard to separate that, but how has he gotten better since he's been there, and in what areas does he need to still improve?
Yeah, it's sporadic. And there are games when, JK is seeing the floor better, on offense particularly, where he feels his teammates a little bit better. And because there were times earlier in his career when he seemed to be playing with blinders. And, you see the growth there where he's making the smart pass that maybe a year or two he didn't make because he wasn't looking for it. And so that's one thing he's done better. The rebounding comes and goes, man. Some nights he gets you 7 or 8 rebounds in 25 minutes. Some nights he gets you 2 rebounds in 30 minutes, So that's the consistency is what they've been hoping to find there. And it's never really been there. But just the fact that he seems to see the floor better, defensively, I don't think there's a great deal of difference. He's a little bit better on ball. He's a competent on ball defender. Now, when you ask him to defend in a team scheme, it's a little bit different. He has some trouble there, and we always go back to the Christmas Day game against the Lakers, where Austin Reeves worked his way around Andrew Wiggins, and Kaminga was supposed to be the help defender, and Kaminga was chasing the guy out of bounds. Mm-hmm. I think it was Rui Hashimura. Somebody was running out of bounds on the baseline, and Kaminga had his back to the play. And to me, that's a ghastly error when you're supposed to be the help defender, and the guy is going in for a layup, which is what Austin Reeves got to win the game. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that makes people go, wait a minute, JK, we've discussed this. We've talked about the importance of help defense. Why are you chasing a guy, Rui Hashimura, out of bounds when Austin Reeves has the ball and is driving? Yeah, you can say maybe Wiggins shouldn't have let Austin Reeves get past him. But Wiggins turned him to the baseline because he thought Kaminga would be there. Mm-hmm. And JK had his back to the whole play. And so it's stuff like that drives the coaching staff crazy. And some of the veterans are like, come on, we got to be better than that. So, do I see strides? Absolutely. But do I see some areas where he still needs to really get much better? Absolutely. So whoever gets JK, and whether it's tomorrow, next month, next year, and it will be somebody else at some point, we'll have to accept that and hope that, he's still young, and hope that those edges are smoothed out at some point.
What do you think his ceiling is, Monte? What do you ultimately see his development in the NBA being? Can he be an all-star? Is he a number 2, 1? Like, what do you think?
I think his ceiling is a number 2. And he's got a ways to go to get there. Because I don't ever see him as number 1, because number one guys feel the game. and think the game and make those around him better in some form or fashion. And I don't see him being that guy. I understand, I know that JK spent most of his teen years loving basketball and watching video of Kobe Bryant. And I think in his mind, that's who he wants to be. But Kobe is a rare breed, man.
You're right.
He's a rare breed. And Kobe is as mental as he was physical about the game. And he thought the game at a high level. And JK is not there yet. He physically, he can do, he has Kobe's physique. He has Kobe's athleticism. He has those things. But Kobe could see the game and feel the game in ways that others couldn't. And there were times when Kobe took some bad shots because he believed in Kobe. But JK, he doesn't have that knack. And that's a rare thing. There are a lot of guys in the NBA. Most guys in the NBA don't have that knack. And so his desire to be that while not possessing the things that are required to be that are kind of where he is right now and kind of what the Warriors are seeing and dealing with. And so they're hoping for growth, but they've been hoping for 4 years for growth, and they've seen fits and starts. But his ceiling, can he be an all-star? I think he can because he can be spectacular. And spectacular can sell. That the NBA, fans like spectacular, and he can do that. He will have that as long as he's on the court.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as a guy who can lead a team to a championship, I don't see that. Can he be a number 2 if the number 1 is strong enough? Potentially so. But right now he's not a number 2 either. So if he goes to a team, can he be that in a couple of years? Maybe. He's, like I say, he's young, and there's still room for growth. But I think the Warriors would like to have seen more growth on a more consistent basis throughout the 4 years he's been with them.
Monte Poole, you say the Warriors are looking for size. I know they already have Quentin Post, and maybe you're talking about wings, but would you be interested in a 7-footer from Stanford out of France?
Damn, you trying to trade our guy already?
I'm just asking the question of Monte.
Well, I think I'll put it this way. Okay. I know there's some conversation with Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like Al Horford, and he'd be a great fit. He's 39 years old. But I think he'd be a great fit. He'd be a good get at this stage because, honestly, I'm thinking DeAndre Ayton going to the Lakers, that could hurt the Warriors.
Yeah.
Ayton he's not a perfect player, but he's a 7-footer who can get you 15 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And do it on a fairly regular basis. He had a nice mid-range shot. He can protect the rim. But he went to the Lakers, and I know the Warriors were looking at that possibility. Now, it looks like Al Horford may be the only one left that really can help them. Brook Lopez has already gone over to the Clippers. And I know that they were interested in him at one point. So it looks to me, I'd be surprised at this point. If Al Horford wants to leave and wants to leave Boston and wants to continue his career, I think this would be a pretty good spot for him. He'd be the oldest guy on a team that's got 3 old guys. He's 39 and Steph is 37 and Jimmy is going to be 36 pretty soon and Draymond 35. So that's a whole other story because now you're looking at 4 vets, really good vets, but they have to have some youth and athleticism around them to have any chance of competing in this bear of a Western Conference.
Gotcha. Monte, it's great talking with you again. We appreciate your time and your insight. Enjoy the holiday weekend. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, fellas. Enjoy.
All right, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.